because I did come from a kind of corporate background, at Acer, I almost ran kind of an internal agency. We had 40 people on my team,
Oh, wow.
from many different disciplines, from photography and video to 3D copywriting. We did a lot of the advertising. We needed to really think about really smart ways to produce the sheer volume of marketing materials that you would need to support more or less
Mhm.
100 products a year.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to have Joshua Roberts in the show. Joshua used to be in the corporate world as the creative marketing director of Acer, and then he was able to transfer his knowledge and skill set that he gained working for multinational corporations, and he started his own business 4 to 5 years ago, as well as then his own e-commerce brand on Shopify, which is GabiSkin, which is a skincare product. And he wants to talk a little bit in this show what skill set made him successful, especially his great in creating templates and automation and streamlining processes within his e-commerce store. So I want to also share a few words about this podcast. We are here on a mission to help e-commerce entrepreneurs to listen to successful 7 to 8 figure shop owners who are sharing tactics and tips on growing the e-commerce store. And if you like to connect to the speakers of this podcast, then I would encourage you to join also our Facebook group where guests like Joshua will be part of. And now, without any further ado, let's get into the show. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to host Joshua Roberts today in the show. Joshua and I have been friends for a couple of years, and I met him through a mutual friend who introduced him to me because Josh is also in the e-commerce space and also in the startup space. Josh is running an e-commerce brand which is doing skincare, which he will introduce in a bit. It's called GabiSkin. And in his digital, it's not a digital marketing, it's a web development agency called The Level. He is focusing on branding and web development. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Marco.
Awesome. So I already talked a little bit about you have 2 projects here, and this podcast is mainly about e-commerce. So if you don't mind, can you talk a little bit about maybe GabiSkin and also Level, if you like? So how did you get started with that?
Yeah, sure. So GabiSkin was something we sort of fell into in a kind of organic way, I guess you could say. We were always running a branding design consultancy. We're based in Taipei. We do brand identity design and web design. So we were already kind of in the agency space, building e-commerce sites for other companies, doing branding for other companies, sort of from elephants to ants, startups to bigger corporations. We got into doing skincare because my wife was looking for a coffee scrub product in Taiwan, and we couldn't find it. And so we looked overseas. We found an interesting brand in Australia, and then we looked into the shipping, and it was like more than the product. So we thought, well, what goes into coffee scrub? It's actually not a lot of complicated ingredients. It's everything that you'd have in your kitchen normally. So we live right next to Costco. We went down the street, picked up everything, and sort of did it at home. My wife started using it and she loved it. We started giving it away. And then people started to kind of ask us for more of it. And after a couple of people asked us to purchase it, we were like, well, we're doing branding already. So maybe we could just make a quick little website and put something together. And that's kind of how it started.
That's great. So it started basically as a home project. It started something that you saw that as a need or for yourself, and then it developed into a startup, and you were able to kind of leverage your previous skill set. I forgot to mention that you actually had also a background in the corporate world. You have been doing user design for Microsoft, and you have been working for Acer as the global creative marketing director. So you bring a lot of skill set to the table before you then started your own e-commerce store, right?
Yeah, exactly. Most of my career, I was on the corporate brand side, in either a design or marketing role. I left Acer as the global creative director around a little over 4 years ago, to
Okay.
start Level, and then GabiSkin we started a couple years after that.
Right. When we stay with GabiSkin for now, can you tell us a little bit more about the products? I know you started out with with a coffee scrub. What have you expanded into? Or what other products have you been adding to the roadmap, and why?
Yeah, well, we chose the name GabiSkin because Gabi in Taiwanese means coffee. So it's coffee plus skin. All of the products include coffee extract for some of the skin benefits that it brings, caffeine amongst others. And we have a total of 6 SKUs so far. We've really realized lately that we really need to expand the product portfolio. That's what our customers are asking for now. So our main goal this year is really to grow the portfolio by another 3 to 5 products. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
We're in the midst of testing a few products now, and we're getting better at it. It's not like skincare was our it wasn't our our background. But
Yeah.
I didn't even really know what toner was 2 years ago, and now when I get out of the shower, I'm yelling for it. Where's my serum? Where's my toner?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
opening up new worlds and new experiences. And yeah, you said it already. It's a Taiwanese brand. Is Taiwan
Yeah.
your main market, or where else are you selling
Um,
right now?
that's a good question. We are primarily focused in Taiwan because we didn't want to expand too quickly and kind of wear ourselves very thin. We are just a bootstrapped brand. We wanted to grow organically and really focus on high quality products, and see what made sense, see how to reformulate the products if we needed to before we kind of expanded to into different markets with
Mm.
different platforms, et cetera. It would be difficult to make changes. So we really tried to focus on Taiwan to begin with. We do have distribution in Hong Kong now, and we sell still 80% in Taiwan, and then Hong Kong, Singapore, US. We're getting more and more sales, but all of our marketing is really focused on Taiwan. We're not really focused outside of Taiwan yet, until we have kind of an opportunity to grow the portfolio and grow more
Right.
roots, a stronger following. Yeah.
Yeah. Expanding is also expensive, so it's
Yes.
good to focus first and create the cash flow that's needed to expand.
Exactly.
So I guess your target audience is more female oriented. So when we stick with the marketing aspect, how is your product, yeah, kind of sticking out of the market? What is your unique selling proposition when you try to differentiate yourself?
There's a couple. I mean, the main differentiator between us and competing brands is that we've taken a pretty niche approach with the coffee extract.
Mhm.
Connecting directly to our name, Gabi. So again, all of the products do include coffee extract. They also all include, real essential oils. We've taken a pretty sometimes what seems to be an extreme approach to being eco-friendly, from the factory
Mm.
production process to the way we package the products. It's definitely not cheaper to do it this way. It's more expensive actually, but it's something we feel is really important. Um, for Taiwan, the market really loves imported products, so we've made the branding and the design look like it's kind of like an imported product. It has a more international feel to it, a more minimalistic
Yeah.
feel than some of the things that you would see pop up here. So from that perspective, I think we stand out a bit more. And then from the pure product perspective, what we put inside the ingredients, we kind of take the
Hmm.
philosophy where what you put on your skin is just as important as what you put inside your body.
Yeah.
So we leave out quite a lot of ingredients. There's no alcohols, there's no parabens, et cetera, that are used in quite a lot of skincare for good reason. They're cheap. They're very inexpensive ways to kill bacteria and increase the shelf life. So a
Yeah.
lot of our products don't actually last as long. So we need to
Oh
produce
wow.
in smaller batches. 2 to 3 year shelf life. Most of them are around 3 years now because we use some nicer, um, like vitamin E is a great
Hmm.
is a great ingredient to add to increase shelf life, and there's some other things as well. But
Hmm.
we're refraining from using things like alcohol because they really dry out your skin, even though the products will last for years when you add this kind of stuff. Um, did I answer your question?
Yeah,
On there.
mostly. That's really good to see. So it's yeah, you're taking really good care about what ingredients you have, and making sure that it's not harmful, which I really like.
Yeah.
And you already mentioned it, talking about the marketing aspect. And one of the reasons I also reached out to you to have you on the show, Josh, is like, I know you and have been always been very fascinated by you and your creative brain, the way you approach things. And yeah, in general, you have a tremendous experience in that way. And one thing, what other people can do if they check out the website, which they can just see here below, you take a lot of detail, and you put a lot of your uh, blood and sweat into design, and into your
Mm.
creativity, and it pays out for you. And I'm curious if you want to talk a little bit more what you have been, yeah, what is your philosophy when it comes to branding and design, especially in the e-commerce space.
Sure. Because I did come from a kind of corporate background, at Acer, I almost ran kind of an internal agency. We had 40 people on my team,
Oh wow.
from many different disciplines, from photography and video to 3D copywriting. We did a lot of the advertising. We needed to really think about really smart ways to produce the sheer volume of marketing materials that you would need to support more or less
Hmm.
100 products a year. And that's 100 toolkits we need to make for different products, from
Right.
wearables to projectors, monitors, computers, laptops, etc. Acer produces a lot of different products. So every product needs a web page. Every product needs a set of translations. There's a lot of stuff to
Hmm.
make. So how can you build systems and processes to support that amount of volume of marketing assets with a relatively small team? 40 people may sound like a lot, but it's not that many when you consider the amount of things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of things to make the generation of marketing products more streamlined. We used a lot of 3D,
Yeah.
which we now do for our products with GabiSkin. We basically templatized the workflow. We automated a lot of the design, a lot of like design materials using database driven design. So I'm all about saving time because we're still a small team for GabiSkin. There's only a few people supporting this brand. full time. I'm not even full time on it right now because I still manage level. And so one of the things that we do with GabiSkin is, for example, the products, as I mentioned, are all done in 3D, because
Hmm.
when we have new products that come, we can simply render new bottles, put new labels on. We can really, really quickly get new base, like core creative assets up and ready to go.
Yeah.
We are pretty heavily invested in Notion, which is a kind of all-in-one
Yeah.
workspace platform. Probably a lot of people know about it. If you don't, it's a really amazing platform. We've built a lot of templates that help us run campaigns. Whether we're doing influencer marketing campaigns, or we are doing new product development, or doing seasonal campaigns. Those things are all highly streamlined. We have basically a one button click that generates a plan that we go back and we fine tune over and over
Hmm.
as we recognize areas that are missing. But it really, really helps us to reduce effort, reduce errors, stay on track. It helps us to outsource some of the things that we need to do. For example, all of our primary SEO activities are done through blogging and recycling our blogging content. And that is all pretty much automated through an editorial calendar that
Hmm.
automatically uh, notifies the ghostwriters that we have. It schedules the translations. A lot of the things are very automated. We don't have it automated putting it into our back end yet. It's got to be on my list of things to do. So I think that automation is really important to me and to our team. I
Right.
don't want people to do sort of um, repetitive tasks, copying and pasting kind of tasks, or emailing kind of tasks. I think those things should be as automated as possible, so that we can spend our brain power and our effort doing more strategic thinking, more business development, things that are a little bit more difficult to automate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. Working smart rather than working hard.
Smarter than harder, yeah.
Smarter than harder. Yeah, so you're using Notion as one of the backbones there, right? And I think the functionality is it's all templatized, so you can just like duplicate projects easily. You have the structure, and then people can just go in and fill out the information that they need. But they already have all the assets and resources, mainly that they're working with. Is that right?
Exactly. I can give you kind of a tangible example. So let's say we have, well, we just had Mother's Day, right? So
Hmm.
in our global marketing calendar, when we would set a period of time, so this is like Mom's Day promotion, it would generate all of the activities that would need to happen for this
Yeah.
campaign. So all of the assets that we would need to create, it would automatically paste in any promotional criteria. Our paid media for Google and Facebook would be included in there. It would basically generate checklists, and then Mandy, my wife, who is basically full time on GabiSkin, would start assigning these tasks to the relevant people within our team, and
Hmm.
then follow up with everything. So we've built this over time, and we've spent a lot of effort in iterating and evolving it so that it becomes more and more streamlined. We add more and more readmes and kind of video help files in there, so that when new influencers get added to this promotion,
Yeah.
we might have 2 to 5 influencers for this period. They can have access to the page that they need to access. Their contracts are in there.
Okay.
Everything is set, so we don't need to we don't need to worry about forgetting things as much, and it just helps keep us on track.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. I mean, you want to do it once, then create a system, and then the system will take care of it. So you can really focus on what's important, vision, strategy, and so forth. You already talked a bit about the different marketing tactics. SEO is one, paid
Yes.
advertisement is one. Yeah, how do you juggle all of them? How do you grow your brand right now? What are the tactics that you use primarily?
That's a really great question. We we basically use a mixture of paid media,
Okay.
organic search through SEO, email marketing. We use Klaviyo, which has been a really, really crazy, amazing a tool
It's a
for us,
strong
and that's
tool.
something that actually you brought up very early on when we got started. So I'm quite thankful for that. And then influencer marketing. We do have a little bit of additional marketing that is sort of comes from other business activities that we're in. For example, through some channel partners
Yeah.
or through some of the retail ventures that we've entered into. But
Yeah.
basically, it's SEM, SEO, um, uh, uh, influencer marketing, and email
Yeah.
marketing. Um,
And I know for you as a cosmetic brand, it's you have to focus a lot on getting the customers in, and if they're like your experience and if they like your products and your service, then they will really stick with you and they will become recurring customers. And one of the things that you have big eyes on is creating a good user experience, right? Like
yeah,
how do you make sure that people that your customers are actually getting a good experience there, and can like that they feel connected and really taking care that it's not just a brand out there, but it's just like people behind the brand.
exactly. We really wanted to take more of a hand touch approach to everything from the beginning. So
Hmm.
although we cannot keep up with handwriting cards now, I'm glad
Yeah.
we have this problem because it means we've grown more. When we first started, my wife was handwriting thank you notes to every single customer.
Wow.
Sometimes we would send a quick video to customers and say, hey, Sarah, thanks so much for your order. We want to let you know we're dropping this in the mail today. You should receive it by tomorrow or by the latest Friday. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, just let us know. Just really, really short clips that are quite easy to do. So we spent effort to do this, but it made a big difference. When we first started, 10% of the reviews that we got talked about that handwritten card alone. Just 10% talked just about that handwritten card.
That's amazing.
People would take photos of it and put it next to the product, and we'd always have this kind of feeling of, wow, like it makes a difference and people appreciate that. There's other efforts that we've done to make people feel safe in their purchase decision. For example, in Taiwan, we allow customers to come to our website and register for free samples, and we
Yeah.
send the samples free of charge to their door. They
Wow.
can
Yeah.
they can use the samples, and then we have a Klaviyo flow that follows up with this process of series of three emails that say, thanks so much for registering. We dropped them in the mail. Hope you should get them by next week. A week later that says, like, we hope you've had a chance to use the products. If you have any questions, please let us know what you think. And then
Yeah.
finally, we offer them a discount code. So currently, the return on ad spend is around 3 point something for this.
Hmm.
We have the form on our website has nearly 50%
That's
registration rate in Klaviyo for the people who enter this page.
yeah.
Around 50% fill out this form,
Yeah.
and it's a 3x return on ad spend. It's like the most successful thing that we have going on so far. We learned the importance of giving away free samples from our retail experience. And how that happened was because the latest product that we introduced, which was a lotion, a
Yeah.
facial lotion,
Yeah.
outsold all of the other products because in terms of speed, because that was the only product that had samples. We didn't have samples for any of the
Wow.
other products. And when we were giving away these samples, we realized that people need to try skincare in order to make a decision.
They need
And
to
that's
build
a
their
big,
trust.
yeah. So if anyone's running an e-commerce brand that has any sort of sample that can be given away, I think it's really worth a try to set up some
Okay.
way to give away free samples. The other thing that we did is that we put a message on all of our product pages that say, when you order products from us, we will include the samples. You can try the samples first. And
Hmm.
if you don't like the product, send it back. Within
Yeah.
30 days, you get your full money back and you've lost
Wow.
nothing. We'll pay for everything. To date, in 2 years, we have one single return.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Look at
I
that.
think it helps quite a lot. Also, it it's not like people open the products and then they use part of it and then they don't like it and they send it back. It can prevent some of this as well. Um, so it's been really it's been a
Hmm.
really good marketing tool. It's been a really good engagement tool, um, and something that my wife thought of, and she gets all the credit for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. You guys, yeah, it's a so-called no-brainer offer almost, right? Like what do people have to lose? Like your customers. And yeah, you have a very strong offer there in the market, which I think it's a great thing. It's at least worthwhile to test it out, because if it gets people in, and what you want as a cosmetic brand is to get people and get the database, and get them back at one point. If they're if they're happy
definitely.
with your brand and your products, they will come back, and then it's okay to not even make a break even at the beginning, or
Exactly.
maybe ideally making a break even. But even if you invest the money up front, you will get it back down the road. And that's very
Yeah.
interesting if you think on that long term approach. So that's really cool.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely in it for that lifetime value.
Yeah.
Right now, we have around 30% reorder rate. We're trying to get that up to 40% by the end of this year. We're on our way. It slowly grows. We, as we gain more brand awareness and more traction, especially as we introduce new products.
Yeah.
So we've sent out recently a big survey to a few thousand customers in our database, asking for what they want, and we got a lot of really cool feedback. Really, really great information, and based off
Wow.
of that, we'll introduce new products, new offerings,
Okay.
kind of grow the portfolio, and hopefully from this point it can help us grow more.
Since you have such a strong relationship with your customers, do you use that? Do you leverage that in any form in order to create and generate, or create user generated content? How do you do that?
Yeah, we get generated content through through a Shopify app is one way. We use Stamped.io.
Hmm.
They have a really great review module. We do get lots of uh, reviews and photos this way. We use Instagram to ask our customers for user generated content in return for sometimes a straight up gift, or sometimes a chance to win a chance to win a gift.
Yeah.
Um, so those are the primary ways I believe we do. I would consider, influencer marketing is another form of user generated content too, because a lot of the
Okay.
people that we work with, they are really great videographers or photographers, and they make great content,
Right.
and that is You can see that at in the social proof area of our website. You can see where that sort of stuff appears. It's not things that we have done ourselves. That all comes from users. Although influencers are paid sometimes in exchange for products, sometimes in exchange for money. It depends on the sort of size and scale that the influencer has. But those are the main ways that we collect kind of third-party photography and review.
Yeah, especially those influencers. That's a good tip because they're already the pros. They already know how to do the videos right, to do the images right, and so on.
Yeah.
How do you reach out to them? I'm just curious. Do you have a good approach? Like I know they're getting bombarded with requests, and you probably have to pay a lot of money for some. But did you find a good outreach tactic here?
We've tried a few different ways. There are a few different platforms and databases that we've tried. We've also tried just manually searching on our own to see what we could discover. We've had some of the online and offline retail partners that we've worked with have a list of recommended influencers that we could reach out to. We're pretty picky with who we work with.
Okay.
We don't only purely want exposure. We want the right exposure. We want we want to work with really, influencers that have a good alignment with our brand. We're not the number of followers is not actually the most important metric to us. It's actually who the followers are and what is the sort of the amount of engagement that they get, and the sort of brand match. We want to work with we want to work with individuals that are a bit more eco-friendly, a bit more thoughtful about how they curate content. So we're a little bit picky about who we work with. My wife kind of has the stamp of approval on all of that. I'm not involved from this perspective, but she basically hunts down influencers, and then she also has an SOP for reaching out. We have they go into a database. From the database they get an initial outreach. If they're interested in working with us, we add them in Notion, and they go through a kind of staging process. And it kind of works in this way. We are looking for kind of like more long-term engagements with influencers that have created really great content, have helped increase the awareness of our brand, and have helped lead to more conversions. So we want to work with those influencers more often on a longer term basis rather than a one-off and then done.
Yeah. Makes sense. Josh, those are a lot of great takeaways. I'm just wondering, when you started out with your e-commerce journey, what are the resources that you pick up your knowledge, or how do you stay educated?
Some friends have helped. You've helped. We have a group in our network that has really helped. Daniel Pellig has helped a lot from the Klaviyo perspective for email marketing. You from a sort of SEM, PPC perspective. Mark has given us valuable advice on Shopify apps. Branding is something that we did always internally, so I think we had a stronger understanding from this perspective and design in general. I do keep up with more creative inspiration through sites like Behance and Pinterest, just to get creatively inspired. I look at lots of like seasonal key visuals and lots of different skincare branding things to see what other people are doing. And then, so that's a lot of like left brain kind of stuff. Right brain, OCD. I follow Notion a lot. I'm really into, as much as I can automate and streamline from this perspective, the better, because we really prefer to spend our weekends at the beach and doing things outside, and instead of working our entire lives. It's an important brand for us, but we want to enjoy our lives.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is why we started that in the first place, right? To create the freedom.
Exactly.
And now that people know so much more about you, how can they reach out to you? Also, you are actually, and this is something that we have not explored too much in this episode, but you're also helping startups and other brands and also e-commerce businesses to get started on Shopify. You help with the design, with the branding.
Yeah.
So if people want to learn more about you and maybe get in touch with you, where can they reach out?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I think it's linkedin.com/Joshua Roberts, or profile Joshua Roberts, however it.
I will add it.
Maybe you can put a link or something. And then, the name of our agency is called Level Interactive. It's thelevel.io. We do work with startups and established organizations in doing brand identity, system identity design, like corporate information systems, this sort of branding. And then we do web design. We use Shopify exclusively for e-commerce, and we use Webflow, which is a really great no-code platform for pretty much everything else, from simple brochure-style websites, catalog websites, branded websites. So those are the main ways. Oh, you can reach me directly at joshua@thelevel.io.
I will put. Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing. I will put those in the description below. And also I will add you, or you're already part of the Facebook group of us. So if people are interested, then they can also reach you or contact you through the Facebook group. I'll also put everything below. Josh, thank you so much for sharing and for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for organizing.
Have a great day, and hopefully talk to you soon.
Cool. Thanks, Marco.